time for Divinely Decked. I'm Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and come and join me for some tarot and oracle reviews done Stacy style. Hello all, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to Divinely Decked. And this is a segment that is going to do some card reviews, card deck reviews. And as you can see behind me, I have quite the collection of tarot and oracle decks. I normally don't do this kind of thing, but my producer, my fabulous producer Keone, said, hey, you know, this is a thing. People do these reviews all the time. Why aren't you getting a little piece of that action? And I thought, you know what? He's right. I've got over 300 decks. I should really be able to do some reviews because I think I know what I'm talking about. So, welcome to the first edition of Divinely Decked. And for this edition, I have chosen to review the Dreams Within Dreams tarot deck. It is an independent deck that I got through Kickstarter, and it is created by Jade Trin. And I absolutely love this deck. I read the tarot and the oracle intuitively. And also, I'm going to just share with you the ones that I like and why I like them. And that might be because that's my personal preference, and I just want to share it with you guys because I think this is so fun. Hopefully you'll get a little something out of it. Maybe you'll find some decks that you really like. Maybe you'll just enjoy me sharing my collection with you. And so I love to support independent decks, and I love to support Kickstarter programs and, you know, decks on Etsy. I have my own deck, and I understand the process and how challenging it can be, how difficult it can be, and how expensive it can be. So when I support something on Kickstarter, I really believe in it and I want them to succeed. So let's take a look at our Dreams Within Dreams. And the first thing I love about this deck is that it is in a very solid box, and I can't tell you how many decks I have that are in that. I think they call it like a cigarette pack, where, you know, it's just kind of like a flimsy little flip pack, and I just hate it. I absolutely hate it. So this is a nice box. It keeps the cards safe, and I can travel with it, and it's so pretty. And I love on the inside here, at any moment you have a choice that either leads you closer to your spirit or further away from it. Tick not on. And so, of course, the guidebook here is really freaking cool, not gonna lie. Here's the thing about tarot. I read tarot intuitively, but I also understand the system of tarot. And so when I get a tarot deck that is simple and basic, I don't necessarily need to read the book. But on occasion, when I am reading for myself, I enjoy exploring the other interpretations, the other perspectives of other writers and creators of the tarot and the oracle, and to see what they kind of take from the tarot. So this book feels really good for me, and I like that it's kind of the opposite of me. And brevity is not my strong suit, but this book is small. It gives you just enough, just a taste to get connected. I love that it's in color, so the card is accurately represented in the book. And I'll show you what they've done with the minor arcana here. Is you have just a tiny little thing. For example, one of my favorite cards in this deck is the Ace of Cups. A goldfish watches as a cup pours a source of water into another. There will be new beginnings and love, compassion and luck. Key words: intimacy, feelings, compassion, new possibility, reversal, anguish, cold, bad news, emotional loss, blocked creativity. So it's the taste. It's just enough to give you the starter, and then you can interpret it and intuit it in whatever way you need it to be moving forward. So I love that. And they've got a little dedication page and gratitude. It's small, it's compact. I love that it's a matte finish as well. And that is something else that I've really learned over the years. I've enjoyed it. Oh, and check out, there's like a really cool picture at the bottom of the deck as well, or the bottom of the box, I should say, that is really fun. So what I love and what I have learned about my experience with tarot cards is, of course, you can have the, I'm going to call it now, and you know, judge me if you want, the old school kind, which is really shiny. And of course, I have a lot of decks that are shiny and I love them and they shuffle well. But I really am drawn to this. I believe they call it like a rose petal finish. And it's like a silky matte. And check out the back of these cards. These cards are absolutely freaking beautiful. You've got the sun, the moon. There were a couple of different options, I believe. I could have had this gilded in gold rather than silver, but I tend to be a silver metal girl. And I chose to get it in the silver. I love the sky episode here. And we've got the sunburst and the moon inside. And we also have kind of a hint of space, you know, the sky in the background. And a lot of this is, I want to say, that oval, that round, the coming full circle. And I feel like it's just really beautiful. And if we flip the card over, so this is the Hanged One, or the Hanged Man in the tarot. This one happens to be a little bit of a darker interpretation. And you've got this guy kind of hanging upside down and he's weaving his webs. He's very creative in his approach. So the interpretation of this particular deck I really enjoy, because it is based on the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot and that system of divination, but they've really, I want to say, allowed their creative expression to liven up some of the pictures and the imagery. And we don't often think about the Hanged One as being creative, and spiders are about creativity, but yet that's exactly what is going on. Is it's part of that, I call it the Phoenix journey. It's the Phoenix growing phase. We're out of the burning phase. The chaos, the destruction has occurred, and now we're regrouping. We're having to reflect. And the Hanged One is, in this depiction, is referring to that we are always creating, even if we are just taking a pause and taking a breathe. So I love that about this card. Here's their version of the world, and they call it in this deck the universe. And I love this piece. I love the universe. I love all of the blue in this card. I love that there's so much shiny stuff going on here that you can really see the details. You're getting to see the world in this card with the clouds and the night sky, but you're also seeing the universe itself, and it really lends itself to, there's a whole other world outside of the world that we are living in. And oh, look, we've got the sun. And I love this interpretation here in this particular deck of the sun, because you've got sort of an Egyptian feel to it. And of course, I love Egyptian anything. So it's got an Egyptian feel to it. It's very much the colors of the phoenix. We've got the reds, the oranges, the yellows, representing the sun, the heat, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra. And the sun is the light of truth. And this is the truth as we know it. The sun gives us life, gives us breath on this planet. And so those lower chakras, lower not in a judgmental perspective, lower from the fact that they sit in the lower parts of our body, really help to root us into the life that we have chosen. And I love all of the gold here as well, because the sun card represents opulence. It represents luxury. Let's see if we can sort of flip through here. I love the way this deck shuffles, and I think part of that is the material, that everything is so smooth. Yeah, let's take a look here. Ace of Coins. Check this out. Look at all the beautiful color and interpretation. So the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, the Ace of Coins, is about planting a seed. It's beginning something new. Aces are always about that new potential, that fresh start that is coming through. It's the inspiration. And what I love about this is the card itself is implying that there is a beautiful portal that you can walk through, that where you're at right now is beautiful, and where you're going is also beautiful. And I feel like this Ace of Coins is really encouraging the reader, the receiver, to really stop and pay attention to where you're at. We get so focused on the where am I going, what's next, I reached one goal, I should be on to the next. And the Ace of Coins, I feel, really gives us, in this particular interpretation, gives us the opportunity to look around at the beauty that has been created through our process and our journey. And now, as we are inspired to move on to the next journey, we can enjoy the process of the transition from one place to the other. So, I love this particular deck, especially because it's a bit whimsical. It's got a little bit of that, I want to say, that anime feel within this. Of course, it's called Dreams Within Dreams, which really implies that here's the moon card. Dreams within dreams. It implies that we are looking at dream type energy. I'm just going to pull some random cards out here to give you a sense of each of the suits as well. So we just had the coins, and now we've got the Three of Wands, Two of Wands, Three of Wands, Two of Wands, Swords, and what am I missing? I'm missing here the cups. Let's pull out a cup. See what is going on here with the cup. Oh yeah, here's a Queen of Cups. So the beauty of this is, of course, I'm always drawn to the colors. The colors in here are just incredible. It really shows up on this paper. It shuffles well. The moon card, of course, is showing a lot of that Egyptian flair. You've got two moons instead of one, which I think is really significant when we're talking about the moon, that the moon is fickle. The moon, I want to say, is two-faced. We talk about the man on the moon, right? The face in the moon. And I've never seen an interpretation done before where you've got two phases of the moon in the one card. And yet the moon is fickle. It can shift, it can change. It is about illusion, the mystery of things. Things aren't always what they seem. So let's take a look at the wands here. So when you first glance at this particular card, you might think that this would be connected to the coins or the pentacles. So it's not obvious in its interpretation always. And I feel like that's really important. As a person who reads these cards intuitively, I'm looking at the story that the card is telling. And when I'm looking at this Three of Wands in the Rider-Waite-Smith traditional meaning, it's a card of expansion. Well, when we look at this card here, I feel that she is very spring-like. She's also sort of protecting herself. She's looking back at something because she's really still in the throes of making a decision. Do I want to move forward? Am I ready to go ahead? Do I want to take some of what I might be leaving behind with me? She also, I want to say, has a little bit of a look of not fear, but a look of determination. That what she's stepping into, she doesn't necessarily want to share with everybody else. And the wands here in this particular card are depicted by these beautiful pink trumpet flowers on the branch or the wand itself. So it's not depicting fire necessarily, but it's showing the love, the passion in those cards, and being able to put yourself first, being able to make choices for you. She's depicted here alone. So this is an expansive journey that she's choosing to take, whether somebody wants to follow her or not. We pulled the Two of Wands here, so I'll just use this as well to show you the difference. In this depiction, the Two of Wands, the wands are being shown now as a different type of flower, a different type of plant. Again, not representing a lot of the flame and the fire that we normally see, but recognizing that all of that is incorporated into the world. And in this card here, she's holding the world in her hands. So she's recognizing that the fire, the flame, the wand energy, the fuel that she's using, I want to say the soul energy connection that she's using is the thing that is spurring her on, because she's bigger than the world. She's bigger than the earth. Here is a Two of Swords. And Two of Swords is always a tricky card in the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, of course, because it indicates that in a lot of ways there's a no-win situation. But I like to sort of see this instead as, no, don't believe in what your eyes are telling you, believe in the third eye. Give the third eye the opportunity to feel into what the next step is. And there's also no wrong choice or no wrong decision here when you're making this decision or this choice. And so I love this particular depiction because the swords is the air element and very much the intellect and communication. And she's in these really sort of, they're bold colors, but they're a bit muted in the colors. It's a darker feel, a darker energy, because you're tapping into the shadow self. You're tapping into what has not been exposed to the light, but the light comes from, I want to say, the light that is shining from her third eye. It's kind of enlightening and emboldening this metal that is seemingly keeping her from seeing something. But really what it's doing is it's shielding her from all the bullshit, all the nonsense and shenaniganery that is going on. So I love this interpretation. And if we take a look here at the Queen of Cups, this is a royalty card, right? A pip card. And the Queen of Cups, she is depicted here as a mermaid. That in itself is not particularly unusual in the depiction of these cards. A lot of times cups is depicted by those mermaids because it is the element of the ocean of our emotion, that she is almost angelic in her mermaidness, you know, sort of fins that almost look like feathers. Here's what I was looking for. Check out this Ace of Wands. Wow. So the Ace of Wands here is a wand where we're actually seeing the fire coming through, and it's being depicted as a phoenix. So of course I love it because I'm all about phoenix transformational energy. But what I love about this wand is it's implying that you are rising out of the ashes, that you are getting ready to create something new. You are bringing something new into the mix. And it's coming from the earth, it's coming from the sky, it's coming from the ocean. It's got all of the elements within it. And that is what is giving it the foundation for its own birth and for something new to come through. So I wanted to point out that some of these depictions really don't follow suit, yuck, 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 with the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. And I love that about this deck, that it does its own thing. It uses the traditional tarot as its launching off point, but then it really is very imaginative and again dreamlike. So guys, I absolutely love this tarot deck, and it's one that I was a little worried at first when I first got it. I've been working with it now for I think 3 years. I was a little worried about it at first, thinking that it might be too childlike, too fantastical for me to really get the most out of the experience. And I have to tell you, no, I call bullshit on that. I love, 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 love this deck. And I pull from it almost weekly. You know, considering I have so many decks, I pull from this deck weekly. And it has served me well. So here is something that I have not seen done a whole lot in a tarot review, and that is actually just pulling a card for you, the viewer, who is watching it, so that if this is a deck that you wanted to explore for yourself, what would you get out of it? What would be the energy? And so we've pulled the Sun. I love it. And so the sun is the light of truth. So I feel like, you know, if you're watching this and you enjoyed the cards during the review, that's what this is going to bring to you. It's going to bring to you truth. It's going to bring to you boldness. It's going to bring to you, I want to say, not rootedness in your body necessarily, but I want to say a real lust for being in the physical body and what that means, especially when you are, you know, if you're a starseed or a light worker or a sensitive, you have those moments where you're like, stop the world, I want to get off. What is it that I'm really doing here? You know, I'd rather kind of be a little dissociated from my body right now. And I feel like the Dreams Within Dreams Tarot is going to renew your love for life and renew that passion and that purpose for you through the light of your truth, through the lower chakras within the body, to help you connect to your senses, to help you to really feel alive in the body and to be able to enact the guidance that comes through. So I hope that makes some sense. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this tarot review, kind of revealing a little bit about me. Of course, I always love those bolder colors, the jewel tones. That always gets me excited. And you know, just as some food for thought, if you are new to tarot and you're not quite sure what kind of deck to choose for you, I always say go with the imagery that's going to speak to you. You know, I have so many different decks that all tell a different story. They all sing a different song to me. And I started off reading tarot intuitively, and then I learned the system of tarot afterwards. So I do have the knowledge of both. But I started off reading it intuitively, and that meant that the story on the card was what was activating that conduit within me so that I could receive the guidance. So go for images that evoke feelings and emotions within you. Even if those feelings and emotions are strong, maybe it makes you angry, maybe it gets you frustrated. That's important too. I pull this deck when I am looking for something very clear and direct, but something that also is going to provide a little bit of that clear and direct with some gentleness, with some empowerment, with some inspiration. And that's what this deck does. Not every deck brings that out in me. You know, I would not choose this deck if I was going to do, for example, like a love reading for myself, tuning into relationship for myself. I wouldn't necessarily choose this deck for that. But when I'm needing that daily guidance, that clear, direct information on what is my next path and my next step, when I want to feel emboldened, this is the deck I choose. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Divinely Decked, and I can't wait to do this with you guys again. Transform well.